How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Bitcoin has been doing extremely well recently, but there's something really interesting that's happening that I think a lot of people are missing. Something that could change how you want to invest, whether it's in Bitcoins or going to altcoins. It's something that a lot of people haven't considered yet, and I've been bringing this up to a few people here and there, and they've thought, "Wow, that's an interesting point. I'm not sure I want to invest in altcoins as much as I thought I did." So I want to bring that to your attention. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on that bell notification underneath the video to get future videos just like this one. We're not going to be going through a lot of news today. There are a couple things I just want to hit on, but most of it is this new thinking that I have that maybe Bitcoin is going to do even better than most altcoins this bull market, which is contrary to what a lot of people think. Now, while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. You can also check out the link to Margex, and you can check out the link to Blofin down there. Both are great places to use leverage, and if you want, you can sign up with those links. They have some deposit bonuses. I do like using leverage here and there. Now, of course, you have to be careful. You don't want to risk too much, but it is a nice way to work on some trading, to also take advantage of some of these trends. I see a lot of people using them too. A lot of people are starting to want to leverage trade, and it makes sense because there is just so much opportunity in the market right now. When we are in a bull market, you can make extremely high amounts of money from leverage. Neither of these have KYC either, and neither of them require a VPN. Now, as we can see today, Bitcoin's doing so freaking well. It's actually moving up in the global asset ranks. So let me show you this. Bitcoin is now the ninth largest asset in the world. It just beat out Meta, and you can see it's still pretty far away from Nvidia. Nvidia is 1.1 trillion, then silver's 1.4 trillion, Amazon, Alphabet, Saudi Aramco, Microsoft, Apple, and then gold way up here, 13.7 trillion. So gold's hitting all-time highs over the last 24 hours or so. Bitcoin rallying much more than gold, right? It's up 5.7%. Gold's barely ticking up, even though it's at all-time highs. People want to invest in Bitcoin. Bloomberg just said that this is the start of a fresh crypto supercycle that will push Bitcoin above 500,000. So they are quite bullish over there. And as I said in the video today, Max Keiser is reporting that there are rumors that Qatar's sovereign wealth fund has entered the Bitcoin market and could be interested in purchasing up to $500 billion worth of Bitcoin, taking their oil money and dumping it into a digital asset that will probably do better over a long period of time. Now, this is something interesting. Most people, when they look at Bitcoin, when they look at crypto, and this is what's happened in the past, in bull markets, we've seen Bitcoin lead and then everything else follow. Ethereum follow, BNB follow. We go into, people pile into Bitcoin. They take their profits out after it reaches a certain level. Then they pile into big caps, then maybe medium caps, and then they go all the way down the line to small caps, meme coins, stuff like that. Now what we've seen this time is a little bit different. We've seen Bitcoin pump up. We've seen a few select alts pump up as well. And then we've also seen some smaller cryptos pump up a lot, like 3, 4, 5x from the bottom. But Bitcoin is doing much better than a lot of big caps. As you can see here on the last day, massive green candle. This is Bitcoin dominance. This shows how large Bitcoin is versus other assets in crypto. And it's pretty much just been on a nonstop rally for the last few years. Of course, there are pullbacks, and then we hit this trend line, and then we go back up. And this is something that I've talked about a lot. The majority of my portfolio is Bitcoin. Now, up until this point, I had been thinking that I would really try to go heavy into altcoins at some point when I think Bitcoin dominance is going to top out. Now, my thinking has kind of changed over the last few days, and I'm still going to buy some altcoins here and there, but I think there's a real chance that Bitcoin could do better compared to other cryptos during the next bull run than people think. Like I said, usually Bitcoin dominance tops out and then it's alt season. Now, right now we're still having dominance go up. As I said, you can see the 24-hour percentage in Bitcoin. A lot of cryptos are down significantly versus Bitcoin, their Bitcoin pairs. Solana down almost 9% in the last 24 hours against Bitcoin. The reason for why I think Bitcoin might do better compared to what people think, even in the next bull run, compared to these other altcoins, is because of the nature of who's going to be investing and how they're going to be investing in Bitcoin. For example, we have 12 Bitcoin spot ETFs that are trying to get approved. They have roughly 1.8 million Bitcoin on exchanges. A couple 100,000 of Bitcoin will be sold for payout profit. And then these ETFs are going to pile into Bitcoin. There's roughly 166,000 per ETF that's trying to get approved. Now, these spot ETFs, the institutional adoption, once the spot ETFs get approved, is going to be massive. And there's a big difference between this bull market, where there's going to be a lot of buying, and it's going to be through ETFs versus previous markets. Now, of course, we're talking about just a few million that's going to be bought this way through ETFs. But a lot of the money that's going to pump up Bitcoin is going to be in these ETFs. It's going to be from long-term holders over time, and not from someone buying on Coinbase that is going to take their profits from Coinbase and go roll it into Ethereum and then roll it into Matic and then roll it into some small altcoin. No, a lot of people are going to make a lot of money, and they're just going to buy Bitcoin and probably hold Bitcoin forever unless they sell a little bit, and then they'll go put it into something like Tesla or Amazon or Google, right? That's something that's changing. Like I said, in the past, you just take your profits, throw it into the next crypto. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be that's going to be the only thing that happens. Of course, there are going to be people that have Bitcoin right now that go and roll it into the next crypto and the next crypto and the next crypto. And when you think about it, if there's 2 million left on exchanges, there's going to be 2 million Bitcoin that's bought over the next 5 years, let's say. There are going to be some that are sold, but let's say ETFs swallow up a lot of the available Bitcoin. Of course, there's always going to be some, but let's say they swallowed that up. There's maybe 4 million that's lost. So you have about 13 million held by people then that actually hold Bitcoin. Maybe 12 million after you take out some of the other ETFs that are already launched, like GBTC, like some of the other countries' ETFs. So you still have 10 million plus Bitcoin that people could sell and then roll into the next crypto. So there's still going to be some of that. There's still going to be people that want to invest in Ethereum with completely new money, not taking profits from Bitcoin, but just people that want to invest in Ethereum. There are going to be people that want to invest in Cardano, all that. So a rising tide moves up all ships. Is that how you say it? A high tide raises all ships. If Bitcoin goes up, all cryptos are going to go up, most likely. Most cryptos are going to go up. But I think there is going to be a slight change, like I said, from the past. Maybe we don't see as much of a rotation into altcoins. Now, that being said, we could still see insane gains for altcoins because I think Bitcoin's going to go quite high. There's going to be a lot of money flooding into this. And then if some small percentage takes profits and then starts rolling into small alts, they're going to explode. Like, for example, CeDeFi and Blockchain Bets are outperforming over the last 2 days. These are two cryptos that I talked about. The two small cryptos that I talked about in yesterday's video, the 5 cryptos you want to buy now, both of them up double digits here today, which are beating out Bitcoin. So there are going to be outperformers. But you need to make sure that you're in the right cryptos. You need to make sure that you are in the outperformers, because otherwise it's just not worth it. If you can get a 4x in Bitcoin, why would you take the risk with smaller altcoins? Right? There's more risk, so many different kinds of risk as well, and it complicates your life. It also is harder to hold safely. A lot of cold storage wallets don't have access to hold a ton of these other altcoins, smaller altcoins. So then you're holding it on Trust Wallet or MetaMask or something like that. It's less secure. You also have transaction fees. So if you hold a couple $100s of some crypto and then you need to trade on Uniswap, well, there's 10% of your profit gone due to Uniswap fees. So some people will just buy Bitcoin. And honestly, I'm considering adding more positions once the ETFs are approved, that's just in an ETF. I have Bitcoin that's actual Bitcoin, but it would be nice just to have an ETF. You don't have to worry about security fees or issues. You don't have to worry about sending it back and forth. You don't have to worry about large transaction fees. And you also know that you can put it in a tax advantage account pretty easily. So it is something to consider. Also, I know so many people are excited for when the ETFs get approved, that there's going to be this big pump. For me, the biggest thing is that there are going to be real institutions adopting and people buying in pension funds, people buying for retirement accounts. And this cycle will be different in that way too, that there's probably going to be consistent buying pressure from retirement accounts, from pensions, that kind of thing, if we can do this right, if it really is adopted. And it will be viewed as an institutional grade asset too. So people will start allocating towards it for the long term. So while we do have maybe the typical 4-year cycle for crypto and Bitcoin, maybe Bitcoin continues to move up because institutions see how valuable it is, see that they want to buy or push people to buy for the long term, which could cause the cycle to be different, for us to never really see that 70% pullback that we've seen in the past for Bitcoin, and for us to move up hundreds of thousands of dollars. We've also taken a look at the available supply dwindling, the price moving up with whales coming in, nations buying. There are so many different reasons why this cycle is different. My main point, though, is this could be a completely different market dynamic for Bitcoin versus alts in what we've seen in the past. Now, I'm not trying to get you to not buy altcoins. That's not my goal. My goal is just to make you think a little bit differently, make you think about what's different about this cycle versus previous cycles, make you think about where you want to invest. I'm not trying to dissuade you from doing anything. I'm just trying to tell you, if you're going to invest in altcoins this next cycle, you really want to make sure that you invest in the right ones. Now, if you want to see the ones that I like, I posted a video yesterday. I'll put it on the end screen, talk about my top 5 favorite cryptos. And it's a long video. I talk about why I like crypto right now as well, like why this setup is nuts for cryptocurrency. It's a longer video, but I think it's worth watching. Also, check out those links to Margex and Blofin underneath the video in case you're looking to trade. If you have someplace that you already like to trade, I would still suggest setting up a second just in case something happens. There's no KYC, no VPN needed, and you get some deposit bonuses as well with that link underneath the video for both those. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.